We are back at it with a brand new bikes podcast with the boy Doc. We are on RD Ranch and we're just vibing. We're just having some fun. We're going to be talking about some craziness, some crazy things that happened in bikes in the last couple months. Doc's been away. I blame Doc for this late video of the podcast. He's been gone for like 3 months. No, I'm just kidding. But
it was a week.
it felt like forever. But regardless, we're here. We're finally doing it. It's been a long time. We got a lot to talk about. But first and foremost, Doc just went on a little, I wouldn't say vacation. It was a mission trip, slash mini vacation to the Dominican Republic. Excuse me. How did that go? I watched your video on it, actually. So you don't have to go too in depth. If you guys haven't already seen that video, I'll make sure to have the link and everything in the description below for you guys to check out. But how was that for you?
It was really good. It was totally different. Like the culture, weather, everything, the roads. It was, I don't know. It's always good to get like a little bit of a culture shock, I think, and just kind of get out of your element. And I really enjoyed my time. It was very bittersweet coming home. I miss my kids. I miss my wife a lot, but definitely wanted to stay a little bit.
Yeah.
I think I'll be going back pretty soon, to be honest, but.
And do you go on mission trips? If I remember correctly from the video, this is your first one in a while.
Yeah, I used to go a lot. My old church went to Mexico a lot, like every year or twice a year, and I would go on all of those. But I haven't done one in a very long time. So yeah, it's been a while.
Fun fact. Doc doesn't even know this, but I went to a Christian high school, actually. I went there for like 2 years. I never went on mission trips or anything like that, but and another fun fact, I went to a Christian college. I went to GCU.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I went to Grand Canyon University. Technically, it's not a Christian college. You don't have to declare it, but they do have like chapel services and stuff like that.
That's cool.
But yeah, so fun little fact about myself. Oops up, baby. We suck in NCAA. We lost in the second round, but it's okay. Well, okay, I'm glad that you had a good time, good way to like step away from everything, kind of get your mind reset, which I think really helps, just like stepping away and just getting, a lot of my friends always say like, bro, you need to take a step back and just like regroup kind of. And I'm like, bro, I got to chug along. Like I can't stop, you know what I mean? But sometimes it's necessary, you know? So I'm glad that everything kind of like worked out for you. You had a good trip, came back safe. Everything was good. So glad about that.
Yeah. Good times.
And then let's just jump right into the nitty gritty. I know you guys all want to hear about it. I said this in my video when it happened. MX bikes got hacked. It was really more like one person got hacked. And kind of ruined everything a little. It didn't ruin everything, honestly, but yeah, it was pretty bad. I know some of the details. I'm hoping Doc here knows a little bit more than me, so he can kind of go over it a little bit more. But if you guys didn't know, basically, correct me if I'm wrong on any of this too, but Insane. If you guys don't know who Insane is, you guys probably should know who Insane is. Anybody in the bikes community should know who Insane is.
True.
He got hacked, which then led to MX Bikes mods getting hacked, which then it really wasn't even my MX Bikes mods getting hacked. It was just Insane getting hacked, and then they were able to get into MX Bikes mods. They were able to see passwords and usernames, and it affected a couple big creators too. Like it affected Linz a little bit, and then those hackers were trying to see, like, so the shop didn't get hacked. The hackers in quotation marks, they were just basically copying and pasting the username and passwords to the shop, and then they were transferring funds to other people on like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of before my life. Like,
so dumb.
One, I don't understand. So like, my opinion, here's my full opinion. I think the hackers, and please don't come after me, man. I got nothing. Okay, I got nothing. But I think they're stupid. Okay, I don't understand why you're hacking MX Bikes, who has a player base of 3,000 players, man. If you don't like someone, that's cool. You don't need to like them. You don't need to hack them. Okay, I think it was just absolutely idiotic for them to go and hack someone, and then that caused like a huge ripple, excuse me, in the whole community. I feel like it took a hit a little bit for about a week
For
or
sure.
so. Like I definitely think it took a hit. Also transferring like shops credits to other people, like how stupid can you be? Like Nico can freaking see that. Like I don't understand how like you guys don't understand that, and you're gonna be instantly banned. Anybody that did it, anybody that asked for shop credits should be banned instantly.
R.I.P. Willie.
Like, no offense, I think it's just so stupid, dude. Like that's just my opinion. Like I don't understand. Doc, keep going, man, because I just think it's so freaking stupid.
So what I think actually happened, if I talked to Nico a little bit about it, and so my understanding is that the hackers had some sort of like, okay, first of all, I was homeschooled, so easy with the terminology here. I don't know if I'm correct, but had some sort of like backdoor into mods where anytime somebody would log in, they basically were getting that information, and they did this for a while before the actual hack. Where when you would log into mods, it would send them, and they're basically just creating a repository of people's usernames and passwords. And then they just use that to get into the shop. The shop actually didn't really get touched, other than there was like 3 or 5 accounts that they were able to get into. And then they just transferred the money, but it wasn't like the shop wasn't touched at all.
Yeah, thank God only 3 to 5, man. Like, thank God that most of you guys change passwords for each website. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's really good.
Or like for me, I sign in to mods with the Discord. So that's how they didn't get, because I don't think they were able to do it that way, because they had to have my Discord, which has 2-factor authenticator on it, obviously, and luckily for me, which I didn't get hit at all. I was in the DR when this all happened, so I was like kind of paying attention, but also like I had like Dominican Republic service, which is like not as good at, like, it just wasn't it. So I was like trying to pay attention, but also like trying not to be distracted and kind of focus on what I was doing there. But I also, because I'm a quote unquote track creator now, I had to do 2-factor authenticator on the shop.
Gotcha.
So like I knew my stuff was secure, but anyway, see, I won't be as nice as X. Like, you guys are losers. Like, I don't really have any other word to say. Like, and I don't know, man. Just something crazy.
I think it's just so freaking stupid, dude. Like, it's just so stupid.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing that gets me. Okay, these dudes don't even play the game.
Yeah, like, I heard it was like someone that played the game hired someone to do it. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, well, of course it was, because all right, I'm putting my tinfoil hat on. We're going deep conspiracy theory.
Let's go, baby. I love conspiracy theories. If anybody knows me, I love it. I love conspiracy theories.
We did not go to the moon, and birds are not real. Anyway.
Yep, they charge on like power lines. That's 100% a fact. 100% a fact.
Anyway, what did they take? Okay, they took the locking tool for tracks, or just like the locking tool so that you can GUID lock things, and they took the files for the OEMs. Like, this was clearly like a targeted, somebody wanted those things, and I don't know, little sussy wussy to me.
Could you? Here's a conspiracy. Like, obviously we don't know the whole, like, obviously we don't know. That's why our tinfoil hats are on. Like, conspiracy theory deep in our bag right now. Could they? Crap! I lost my train of thought. I had something so good, dude. I had something so good. Oh no, I have it. Okay, so do you think, like, logging in and getting all those passwords to the mods and then trying to go to the shop was like a diversion of getting the lock tool and the OEMs? Obviously, everybody knows that it happened, right? Because it got leaked, and I think the Triumph got leaked and stuff. But if they really wanted to keep it on the DL, like, they really could have just like only do the mods in the shop and stuff like that, change the mod site, and then keep like the OEM files a secret, lock tool is secret, and then like nobody would know unless like you're insane, right? Insane probably would let the community know. So if they if it was a targeted thing for just that, they're idiots, man. Like, they just gave it out instantly.
Well,
Like,
anyone that's hacking, I mean, obviously wasn't like loved as a child, so they needed the attention.
true. And like, obviously it wasn't like, because let's rephrase, like, they hired someone to do the hack. So the persons that are doing the hack has no bearing on bikes. They don't probably even know what MX Bikes is, right? So like, yeah, we're not like we don't care about those guys. We care about the guys that hired them. You know what I mean? Because they play bikes.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just so stupid. It's just so freaking stupid, man. It ruined everybody's day. It ruins everybody's like night. Because didn't we not have wasn't it like Friday or something like that?
Yeah, well, there was an aerial race, which I think happened.
Oh yeah,
But,
yeah. NA
yeah,
happened. I think EU didn't happen though because of it.
Oh really?
That
was the round. If you look at the start straight on whatever round it is, it has OEM team on the start straight instead of aerial. It was whatever round that was. Like Stony did that, like to pay their respects. I think it's Seattle, but I could be wrong.
Oh, maybe it happened during the week then. No, it happened Monday. It happened Monday? Dude, I don't even know. I just know there was a race and like yeah. But I just think it's stupid, honestly.
So what this means, like I've been trying to figure out like what are the implications to this. Like it's really not a big deal now. For me, there's a big question mark around the OEM team. Like, if they stop, like then what? You know what I mean? Like if they give up, and like I have no idea either way. So if they give up, then like it's not a huge deal now, but come January when we're all looking for new bikes, it'll probably be a pretty big deal.
Definitely. I mean, like that took a hit to the OEM team, like hands down. Like everybody in the OEM team, like I wouldn't even be like, as someone that I would say we're pretty big in the community, right?
Sure.
I would be taking like 6 months away if that shit happened to me, man. I'm like, you guys don't even deserve us right now. Like, why would you even do that? Like that just makes no sense. Like, I would take my time, take my step back and be like, you guys don't even deserve us. And like, actually come January, it's like, oh wait, we actually want the OEM team. Like, you know, because they do all the, like, how much work goes into that? You guys probably, they work around, like they work on it year round to fine tune it. To fine tune it for us, and like, just to be ungrateful little fucks, dude. It just makes no sense, man. I don't get it.
Yeah, it was. So I would expect a competitor to the shop to pop up pretty soon. That would be my thought, because now the the GUID locking, and I was really worried that maybe they were going to be able to reverse engineer the GUID locking tool, and then that would mean they could go in and unlock all the tracks, which would then basically put the shop in the ground, which would just be an L for,
I think it would be an L for everybody.
For everybody. But I believe they even came out and said that they were not able to do that. Whether, I mean, I don't know how we can trust the word of somebody.
That,
so,
you know?
But
and like, when I say that's a major L, like for the shop being down, like, if you guys know me, right, I never was a big fan of pay tracks. I mean, I'm pretty sure I have a video on it, right? But I wasn't a big fan of pay tracks for series. Go back and watch it. That's my personal opinion, okay? Opinions can change, all right? Opinions can change. I still think it would be a bad thing for the community, I think, if the shop went down. Just because of how much hard work people put in, like, looking at it from a business standpoint instead of just a gamer, like, it's a lot that goes into that, a lot of money that goes into it. People working hard on their, this is basically like their hobby, working hard, like spending hours and hours and hours on it. And so, like, obviously opinions can change, right? So just keep that in mind.
I mean, you got to think about too, like, you know, the shop goes away, JV goes away, Stony goes away. I would bet B Clay goes away, Hell Machine goes away, like
Hearn goes away. Hearn doesn't drop. Like,
Hearn goes away. You know what I mean? Like, and this is, you know, Stone and JV. Like, I mean, that means all the Pro Series goes away, right? Like
everybody,
like,
everything.
You guys, you know, people hate on the shop a lot, but you know, and I saw a video back in the day. Somebody was talking about. I don't have no idea who this was. So if you get your panties in a bunch, I'm sorry.
It was probably me, low key.
No, it wasn't you. But like, somebody said like, I don't know. They were trying to justify that the game was so much better without the shop, and in the same breath, they talked about how Stone and JV and Mook and all these guys were gonna, because Mook was making tracks at the time. They were all gonna leave the scene, and then they made the shop. And I was like, okay, so we just said that if it wasn't for the shop, JV, Stone, TFC, Mook, Hurin, like all these guys would be gone, and like we think that the game would be better without them. Like I don't know. I don't understand. Like
so like
that's crazy to me.
Yeah, like my original opinion was like paid series should be free, right? Or excuse me, the series should be paid, the track should be free on series. That's my original thought. Going back on that like opinion, right? Because like everybody can change their opinion. It's not a bad thing to have the tracks paid. I see it from a business standpoint. Like I get it. I get it from that standpoint. But there's nobody in the game making JV tracks, man. There's not one person that's going to go make Sardinia the way it does, or Lamo the way it is, or Trentino the way it is. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Like even going to Stone, you've seen how many, and this is no disrespect to any creator, because they're all really good at what they do. Nobody's making Supercross tracks like Stone's. You can try to replicate it. You can try to do as much as you possibly can. It's just not like Stone's. And people race Stone's because it's the best. Like, that's why we race it. It is the best in the game. You can hate the tracks all you want. I hate some of them. I freaking suck. But that doesn't mean they're not the best in the game. You know what I mean?
I don't like Indy.
Yeah, like, it's just... I wasn't, like, a big fan of some of them, you know? Like, and I heard, like, a lot of people didn't like Glendale. I love Glendale.
Glendale barks.
I might be because I'm from Arizona, you know? But it doesn't even matter. Like, nobody's making tracks like that. I get it from a... dog, that's not the track. Holy moly.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Anyway, carry on.
A little sidetrack. I gave away your undercover name the other day in my video. I didn't mean to.
Mark Martin?
Yeah. You were,
Dang, that's tough. I gotta come up with another one now.
I know.
That was a good one too, man. That was like a child. That's what they used to call me when I raced.
I know, man. I'm sorry.
That's crazy.
But yeah, just like yeah, if you take away the big guys in the game tracker, and obviously tracks will still be here, but the game I think would be back in the state it was like 3-4 years ago, in my opinion. It would be kind of like a side game and not a main game, if that makes sense. Side quest instead of a main quest. If you're going to like single player games or whatever. But I don't know. It's just like, as you guys know, we have a track coming out as well, and like I've always said, like one-off tracks are really good for the shop. I always thought like paid tracks should be like one-off tracks, kind of what Hurin does, kind of what Doc's doing right now, kind of what I'm trying to think of other creators on there. King, does King have
Clay?
Yeah, like everybody that does like one-off shops, like JV even does it too occasionally, you know. So like I always thought that was good, and I always thought like paid series should be like paying for the series. I feel like you would get less people like being absolute hazards because you got to pay for the series, stuff like that. But I get it from a standpoint. I've said this. I get it. I get it from both directions now, so I kind of understand. I just don't understand why anybody would freaking hack. I just don't get it, dude. I just do not get it. Yeah, it made everybody question like the security of the game. It made everybody question like, is bikes gonna be okay? Is like the track creators gonna be coming back? Is the OEM team coming back? Like, it just made everybody question, I think, a little too much. Where when we were in a really good state, like, I think we're still in a good state. And I was telling Troy this. I was like, it's going to bounce back. We're going to bounce back. And, like, the game is going to be probably at its peak, which I'm pretty sure just hit its peak player count at 3K, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, that was a couple months ago.
Yeah, so, like, I think it's going to bounce back in a crazy way. We got a bunch of stuff coming, like outdoors, GPs, Supercross, SMX, people still creating tracks, getting better at tracks. Like, the game's not going anywhere, but it definitely took a hit for a couple weeks. Questions, so many questions on TikTok. Is the shop down? Is the site down? What's happening? Like, can you even play? What's happening to the game? Stuff like that. It just made everybody question a little too much when we were in a really good state, in my opinion. We were just like super good state, and I don't know. It's just frustrating to see people that are just being ungrateful, man. Like, just super ungrateful for what the game has currently. And I mean, I can talk about other topics too. I'm not going to get into it on other topics because I don't think it's in my place to even talk about this, even though my name was brought up. But we'll keep that on maybe something if it ever goes public. But yeah, other than like the hacking stuff, dude, bikes have been really good. I've had some really good times racing GPs, racing Supercross. Although Supercross hasn't been my forte the past like 3 weeks because it's been on the West Coast trip and like I can't race 450s, man. I'm freaking slow as heck. I literally qualified for Glendale. I qualified 41st, man.
That's tough.
Dude, 40 freaking first, dude. I just was like, I looked at the times. I'm like, I'm gonna go make dinner, man. I don't want to even touch this game. So
yeah, that's a tough one.
But
what was the cutoff?
Oh, it was like a 108. 1094. I had a 1095. Literally, dude.
Tragic.
I was half a second up on my time last lap too, so RIP. But no, like I've honestly, as you guys know, last couple, I guess it's already April, we started grinding again back in December. Like you guys know that I was not enjoying the game last year. I think we talked about this on the pod before too, but like I wasn't enjoying the game. But I think with the new OEMs, the new tracks coming out, I found the enjoyment, new videos, new TikToks. I found the enjoyment for the game again, in my opinion. That's not saying that we play it we play it every day, but at the same time, we're not over grinding it, which I think if like
totally not doing 110 hours past 2 weeks, like every 2 weeks, totally not doing that.
No, I probably am, low-key, but
I mean, I am,
but yeah, but like no, but seriously, like I feel like my thought process for this was just going into how much fun we're having with the series, and like taking a step back from like the hacking and stuff. Like the GP series has been a lot of fun. I think the tracks have been really good. Besides one of them. Besides one of them, we can all agree.
Which one?
We can all agree.
Indonesia?
We can all agree that one's bad because we suck at it. Like
it's not. Yeah, I was gonna say it's not even like the track is good. It's not even like it's certainly nothing JV did. It's just like when you build a track on the side of a mountain and then you have all the turns be off camber. Like it just doesn't work with bikes, you know. Like
and like I think JV is one of the best creators in the game. Like literally, some of his tracks are my favorite tracks of all time. Like literally.
Yeah.
And so like it has nothing to do with him. It's so hard. Like Doc's saying, it's so hard to play off cambers and like just one. Even with the great physics as the OEM, even one slip up, one minor mistake, you're front end tucking. You know what I mean? And you're front end tucking, you're front end washing. Also, it's just like hard to be next to people on that track too, because like you're afraid that like, okay, if I'm next to this, that guy's gonna be like crashing because you can't get too close because you're off camber. It just Overall, I've been having really like a lot of fun racing the GP stuff, even grinding the 250s. It's been a struggle fest sometimes, but like it's been fun trying to get better at it. I think you guys can see that we're getting better. Even Doc's getting better too. Like top 10 in motos, like GPs have been really fun. Supercross has also been fun, even though we haven't really. I don't even think Doc, you've been racing the last 4 weeks. I haven't.
No, I haven't. I haven't done any West rounds at all.
Yeah, so like even though we haven't been racing it, it's still fun to jump on those tracks and just like practice. You know what I mean? And then this goes back to like the hacking stuff, because if we lose out on JV, lose out on Stone because of this, I mean, the game's dead for a while.
Sure.
You know what I mean? For a while, I think the game would be dead. So, I mean, how are you feeling about GPs besides not Singapore, Indonesia?
Indonesia, bro. I'm having like, going into this season, going into 2024, I would have told you 10 times out of 10 that I was a soupy guy. And I don't think I'm a soupy guy anymore. I look forward to GPs every week. Like I'm excited to race GPs, and I dread Fridays.
Same,
like I'm
literally.
always like in what's funny is like in Supercross, my average qualifying position has been like 5th or maybe 6th or something like that, and my average qualifying position in GPs is like 26th. And so like I'm like right on the bubble of not qualifying in GPs, but like I don't know. I've been having so much more fun in GPs. Like I feel like just kind of locking in for a half hour on super tough tracks and trying to be consistent. And I didn't think I was gonna like racing EU either, because like I wanted more time on the track. But I've actually really been enjoying just like getting on, having to learn really quick, and then like just using the consistency to get good finishes. Like my average finish in GPs is, like I said, I'm qualifying like 25th to maybe 15th, and I'm finishing like inside the top 10 almost every round.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it's fun to use, like to try, like I feel like use a little bit of like the consistency game. And I'm really bummed I didn't get to race Sardinia, but that's alright.
For GPs, dude, I actually think this game is better when you do longer motos, because then you find a flow, you find your consistency.
Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes you don't have that. Some days like it's just over with first lap. Yeah, like some days are like that. But if you can find a flow on these JV tracks and lock in for 30 minutes, don't even crash for about 25 minutes, bro, it feels so good. You feel so accomplished. Like for Sardinia, I was panicking. I was panicking because I could not put a lap down in quali. I quali like 27th, bro. Like bad. Like I could not put a lap down to save my life in quali. Come motos, I felt like I was so consistent first and second race. I get really flustered in the first like 5 minutes of the race.
Yeah, mood.
I just like super flustered and kind of like all over the place, jittery and stuff. But then once you find that flow, like I was able to stay within like, I would say stay within from like 8th to 12th in both races, which for me personally, that's really good. Like, if I don't crash and just find the flow and just stick with people, like I think me and Flumsy had a battle. I say battle, but it's more like he goes down, I go down, he goes down, I go down, you know, type of battle. But it was still fun, like super fun to do. And I really think longer motos in the game, obviously it's super tiring, super exhausting, it might sound weird, but super mentally draining, like for 30 minutes, like 30 minutes. It's really 90 minutes. You got 30 minutes of hot lapping, right? And then you got 30 minutes of like racing twice. So, but honestly, I've always really enjoyed the longer stuff. Supercross, bro, I suck at Supercross. I'm with you. I thought I was a Supercross guy, and then I got on to Supercross. I suck at Supercross, dude. Like I'm so bad.
Have you noticed since Indy that the Soupy tracks feel like way different?
When you mean by way different, what are we getting at here?
Like it to me, it feels like Stony is building the tracks in a different software since Indianapolis. Like if you just look at like how, like if you go back to Birmingham and then you ride whatever the recent, not Glendale,
Seattle.
but the Seattle or like
St.
Indy
Louis?
or St. Louis, I'm telling you, they feel like different people made them. Like
Conspiracy theory, tin hats on.
No, I think he may have switched softwares. Like the way the ruts are built and like just the shape of everything, it feels different. And I only say that because I'm pretty sure I saw him talking about like potentially switching softwares and using what JV uses or something like that. I don't know. I could just be talking on my butt here, but I could have swore I saw him talking about he was going to switch at some point, and it really feels like he switched. Like I have such a hard time getting into the ruts and like locking into the ruts since Indy. And when I came back from the DR, I was riding all the newer tracks that I missed, and I was like, man, like I am terrible, like I'm just so bad at this game. And I jumped on Birmingham and I went like 0.7 faster than any time I had ever put on it in like 4 laps. And I'm telling you, there's something different. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know if I would have to go back and actually go like ride them again and think about it like that.
Yeah.
But I will say that since Detroit, was it Detroit that had the big triple, or was it India had the big triple? Was it Indy that had the big triple?
Indy, yeah.
So since Detroit and Indy, because I'm pretty sure back-to-back weeks, he had that weird ruts in the corner. In the past couple weeks, though, like, go look at the tracks. There hasn't been that weirdness in the corners. I think it's more fluid in the corners. That's kind of like, I would have to go back, honestly, and, like, decipher. Like,
after this, you should go ride St. Louis and then jump on Birmingham. I promise you'll be able to tell in 2 seconds. As soon as you hit one corner, you'll be like, oh my gosh, it's completely different.
Yeah, because what I was going to say was, like, I didn't like the ruts in those tracks, like the Indy track and then Detroit. I think that was kind of like my only thing I didn't like, honestly. Like, I get it now what he was trying to accomplish, just trying to make it more tough for, like, everybody, right? I understand that. I just didn't like it how the game worked. You couldn't really make passes in the corners. It was kind of just basically like you just couldn't do anything, right? But going back to, I'm just thinking about Glendale because I was just on it. Every corner had like 3 ruts. It was, the ruts started like, I would say halfway around the berm. So that way, if like you're on the right side of the section, you were able to make it into the corner and try to block pass before you got into the rut. Which you couldn't do before. Like, you just couldn't do that because the ruts started way before the corner started. It felt like, not way before, but it started like before the apex of the turn, right? So you couldn't really make a block pass. But I feel like recently he's been way better at that. That was my only criticism back in the day, or I guess back in the day, aka like 3 weeks ago. But honestly, I would have to go back and check. I'll go on Birmingham after the pod and stuff and see. But like, and I think Troy's done an exceptional job. I've been watching his videos, like pinpointing the track and giving pointers to the track and just like showing why this is like this and why he did it like this, right? In like his Supercross videos when he does like the aerial stuff. And like that got me thinking, I'm like, bro, you are right. Like, I always like kind of, I would always like criticize him, but it's like these tracks are becoming so realistic and Stone is trying to make it to a point where you just can't go into a corner wicked and try to hit a quad. You know what I mean? Like, A1, A2, he started doing it more. I'm trying to think of what was round 2.
Round 2 was San Fran.
Okay, so since San Fran, you can't really hit quads, right? So it's like he tried to make it more realistic, and like I think me specifically, I was criticizing it based off of like I was criticizing it probably off like videos and stuff like that, and just to my friends, like I can't do this, I hate this, blah blah blah. But going back, opinions changed. Going back to our original like intros and stuff, like going back, it's way more realistic than what we think, because on a 450 it's even hard to get a 3 on sometimes, right? And on a 250 the whole goal is not to hit the 3 on. You know, the whole goal is to hit that 250 line where it's only a double and then you jump over the table to an off, right? I think Stone has tried to balance the difference between the 250 and 450. Now I could be talking out of my ass here, and he just could only be trying it on the 450, and like that's why he's doing it like this. But it feels balanced enough where like the 250 times are slower than the 450 times, and sometimes in the past you always had like faster. You always had like identical times or like super close to each other. And now I feel like just like the average time is like 2 seconds, maybe 2.5 seconds off the 450 times, which I think is, like I said in my video, like it's just more realistic. You know what I mean?
Even outdoors, I feel like, you know, especially outdoors, like PDMX days, 2022, like the 250s, you know, a rider was putting down, you know, faster lap times than the 450 guys, because I mean I think that had a lot to do with the bikes at the time too, because the 450s were dog water at that time. They had like no traction, or the tires, I guess the tires were horrible for the 450s. But I think that, this is the first year where I feel like the 250s are actually just harder and slower, and before the 250s, because they got more traction, were always OP.
But yeah, I think just like in general, I think the racing series that we have right now with JV, obviously my only critique with Sardinia in the racing aspect, I love everything else about it. In the racing aspect, it was one line. It was just one line in the essence of like, if you went, and this is also going back to the realism, right? You're frustrated in the race because you're losing time to the people. But if you're really thinking about it as like a realism type of thing, outside lines on Sardinia, absolutely dog shit. You just couldn't take it. You would lose 5 bike lengths instantly, 5 bike lengths, because the inside was just so much quicker because it's so short. Like the outside was just so much longer. It didn't matter if you railed it. Like it didn't matter anything. It's just because the track was like just kind of built that way. But it's not a big deal, right? It made it more interesting to see like, okay, I have to follow this guy and I have to pressure him into a mistake to get by. I just can't force my way around. You know what I mean by that?
Yeah, for sure.
Which I think is good. I mean, I don't know, obviously, if JV made the track that way, per se. I think he just made it, and it just turned out to be that way. But I think the realism is coming to the game more and more and more on these professional tracks, which I got to appreciate. You know, like, we want to make it a sim, right? We want to make it like an actual sim track or a sim game, and like go to iRacing. If you're taking the outside in iRacing, which is way slower than the inside line, or going through like the apex of the turn is so much faster than trying to cut the turn, you know what I'm saying? So I think if we can just continue on that path with like tracks and stuff, I think it would be better. And we just got to appreciate, honestly, with the hacking and stuff, going back to it, like we just got to appreciate it more instead of being down bad on it. I think a lot more people are appreciating it a little bit more now with the hacking stuff. So it's just good. It's just like good to see and cool to see. So
yeah, I agree.
Okay, now that we're off that topic, that was a long rant. We had a long rant on the hacking, the tracks. If JV Stone watch all this, yeah, we appreciate you guys for real. We really do. Right. So but there's some other breaking news that happened this week when Doc got back that we got to talk about. He officially signed with Wax Racing. Yes, there is.
Sir.
What are you talking about? There is? Question mark. Yes,
well,
there
okay,
is.
So I actually signed that before I left, so my brain, I just didn't get to announce it until after I got back. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I don't know if I could say I knew, but this is not. I don't know if I could say this, but I did know that. I did know it was coming. I just couldn't say anything about it. But it's honestly cool. Like I said this in my video when it happened. Like for when I signed it, it's really cool to see professional motocross companies coming into the game.
Super cool.
It's super cool. There's some other stuff in the works too, and honestly, it's just so sick to see people appreciating the game and wanting to have content creators for motocross inside of like MX Bikes or whatever, like representing their stuff outside of the game on socials. Like for me, I don't have Wax Racing on right now, but if you guys watch like any recent clips of on TikTok, any shorts, like I'm rocking it. I always have it in like my videos and stuff like that. And honestly, Tom over at Wax is one of a kind, man. He just wants to show mad love to myself. I'm gonna go on a limb here and say, and Doc, that like he's willing to do anything to help us grow, which I think is really cool. But I already know how it all happened, but how did it go for you? Like, what was your initial thought? Like, can you explain a little bit about like your thought process going into it, I guess you would say?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm all for, trying to partner with the right people. That's really what my goal has been, is not just sign any deal just to sign the deal. And it's kind of hard because a lot of the time when you're, I don't know, signing sponsorships or whatever, like you don't really, like you have like an email exchange and you don't like know the people, right? You don't know anything about them. And this was a little bit different because, I knew that you were involved and you had talked a little bit about them. So I had a little bit more information, but honestly, just in the process of getting onboarded with them, like, this is what, like, the main thing I've been telling people is like, man, yeah, their product is awesome. Their hoodie is like, okay, not the black hoodie, but the other hoodie, the one with the X on the front. Yeah, that is like the most comfortable hoodie.
Yeah, it is.
That hoodie. So I've been telling people, like, aside from the products being awesome, like, I have thoroughly enjoyed working with Tom, and just like I feel like that is, to me, is more important than like the product. Like, obviously I want to make sure we're backing like a good product, but I want to make sure that we're backing good people more than anything, you know. And I really believe in them, and I really appreciate them, and like I'm really just excited because they're awesome. And like you said, they have gone so far like above and beyond than what I expected. Like I messaged him and asked about like it's my dad's birthday, or it's my dad's birthday yesterday.
Happy
And my
birthday,
dad still
Pops.
races because he's an old crazy guy and still races, and he's like super like in his late 60s, and he still races. And
What
so
a
I
G.
messaged Tom and was like, yo, like can we get him some stuff, like, and I was like, I'll pay for it, you know. And he put together a package deal for me that was like, he didn't need to do that. It was not at all in the contract or anything. And now my dad's getting hooked up with cool like custom wax kit for him, and I don't know, it was just like, that was really just cool of him to do that. And that's not the first time he's done something cool. So I just, yeah, I've been really, really excited. I was unsure at first because, like I said, I didn't, you know, it's kind of hard to read people through an Instagram text or email or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, they've been really, really awesome. And yeah, just super stoked, really.
You know what's funny is like another cool thing about wax racing too is the owners, Tom and his co-partner or whatever, they like playing MX bikes, man. So occasionally, like when we're streaming or something, if you guys see like Thomas or I forgot actually Tom's name in game, but they're sometimes in our lobbies just messing around, vibing with us. And
Yeah,
funny story too for me, I hopped in a bike server and we chopped it up for like 40 minutes before we did any contract work. You know, we just like talked about riding, we talked about life, we talked about like what,
really cool.
yeah, like what can we offer each other, like what I'm looking for, what he's looking for. And so like we really got down to earth, and it like helped solidify me like, okay, I'm going with wax racing. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So that's really, really cool that it worked out. Honestly, I would love to see more people, you know, like let's get more content creators on board. Let's get wax racing like going crazy, you know, like just because me and Doc have it doesn't mean anybody else couldn't get it. You know what I mean? And that's one thing that I think wax racing is looking for too. Like if you race IRL, they're looking for guys. Like they have a thing on their website, like sign up for sponsorships, like just sign up, like go see what they can do. Like I had a couple people on TikTok message me and they're like, dude, it was during a TikTok live, and they're like, yo, I'm signed with Wax Racing now because I saw that you signed with it. I'm so happy.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's like, obviously it's not a lot, but it's still like, it's cool to see it impacting other people. You know what I mean? So,
Sure. And from their perspective, Wax perspective, like that's achieving, I mean, like anything, like they've already achieved the goal in signing you, you know, they've already got that return on investment already. So like,
yeah,
they've got to be super stoked. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I don't know. I love when you can work with people and then it all kind of just comes together and everybody's happy, you know, like,
yep.
I love that, where it's not just,
and like,
go ahead.
And what also is cool to me personally, is like my friend, like if you guys know me personally, B, he does all of our gear, right? He does all of my gear for the game. He does all my gear, like puts it in the game. He gets all for my team and stuff. He's going to be working with them, which I think is super sick. You know, he's helping them put it in the game, right? He's helping them with like customization, stuff like that. And without having Tom reach out to me, without having a conversation with him, like none of that would happen, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it's really cool to see. Honestly, it's just cool to see where we can go in the future. You know what I mean? So
It's really, like, it's really nice to see, like, it helps me, like, I don't know about you, but like, I'm definitely my biggest critic, and whenever things are not going well, I'm always doubting, like, man, we're just playing MX bikes, like, should we be doing more or whatever. And it helps, I don't know, solidify that, like, there's a lot of value here in what we do. Because I mean, like, you know, the more companies that believe that there's value, then there is actually value. Because why on earth would they you know, put their business in front of, you know, I don't know. It's just cool. It helps me stay the course a little bit on the difficult days, to know that there are people that believe in me and in the content and in you, when on the days that I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's cool.
I mean, it's so sick. And like, I'm excited to see what the future holds with other companies. You know, I think this is just a stepping stone. Obviously, it's MX bikes. It's kind of a low tier game, 3K players, right? But it's motocross. It's a niche within like a niche, right? So it's kind of small, but that niche is growing. I mean, look at how many content creators there are. I feel like bikes is one of the most popular motocross games in the world right now.
Well, it is. And like, okay, so that was the 3,000 players thing. I mean, I don't even really feel like it matters, because if you look at the M's in views that me, you, and Troy and Lynn's pull, like, the game is way more valuable than 3,000 players. Like I know I'm doing millions of views a month. You, like, between TikTok and YouTube and Insta, and I know you are, and I know Troy is, I know Lynn's is. So like, that's a lot of millions. You know what I mean? And like that's a lot of eyes.
And I think like with the track creations that you're doing, with what we're doing over here on my side, like, it's just going to be even more advertisement that we can pull from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think a perfect example is like the track that we're currently on right now, RD Ranch. I don't think there's any necessary sponsorships on this track, but with that being said,
Personal ones.
What was that?
There's some of my personal ones are on here.
Yeah, personal ones, but I'm saying like, say for example, Wax Racing wants to do a Wax Racing compound. It's going to be it's going to be a main sponsor for the track. You know what I'm saying? So like, it would be Doc's track with Wax Racing as like the thing, and it's going to help because, one, now the logo is going to be there forever until the game gets deleted, which I don't know if will ever happen, right? So now the logos are going to be there forever. People are going to hop on this track and be like, oh, Wax Racing, what's Wax Racing? Let me go check out that, you know? And like having it on the website too, like what where the shop is or the mods page, having that logo on there, having a link to it, more eyes are getting on it, and that just helps with other companies getting into play. Like, hey, be like, hey, I did such and such for this track. I think it would be a great opportunity if we work together. I have this pull for advertisement. What do you guys think? You know, it doesn't even have to be motocross themed. You know what I mean? It's just a great opportunity for advertisement. So
I was talking to Alexander PC about doing a track in a PC.
Yeah, like that's so sick.
Yeah.
So
like, or have JV 3D model a PC or something, and then somebody build a track in the PC.
Yo, that's crazy. That would be so freaking sick. But no, like I think we're, even in a small game like this, even with I was telling Doc this before we started recording, peaks and valleys. There's peaks and valleys with everything, right? We might not be feeling it up. We might not be feeling good that day, but knowing that, like, hey, we can go hop on this game and have fun on our own personal tracks, or our tracks that we're creating, like that means more than anything. You know what I mean? Or anybody like watching our stuff, like that means more than anything. Like you guys supporting not just us but everybody in the community just means a lot. So even with this stupid ass hackers, the game is gonna be fine. All right, it's gonna be really fine. There's some big things too in the works. Like, I know for me personally, there's some cool things. You guys already know about this. I've been talking about it for a little while. There's some things that Doc's working on too that we got to keep top secret. You know what I'm saying? We can't just leak this shit. You know what I'm saying? But
we should have some stuff next week.
Okay, shit. You guys heard it here first. Breaking news. Announcement next week for Doc. Announcement next week. Double announcement?
I said a couple.
Couple announcements next week for Doc. Make sure you guys stay tuned for that. We've been rambling on for a good hour, close to an hour here. But honestly, we just really appreciate anybody supporting our stuff, whether it's on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. And I love just talking, dude. Like, I love talking to other people in the same like, what would be the word? Not necessarily niche, but it's, I guess, a niche, just talking about
like-minded.
Yeah, like-minded. Sometimes it's really hard to talk to my friends about, hey, do you think this title would work for for YouTube? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, what about this
Yep.
one? Yeah. I'm like, that doesn't help me. I asked Doc,
Yeah.
and he's like, no, that's trash, man. Use this one. You know, so like, it's just
Not that aggressive.
okay. It's not that aggressive, but it's always fun. It's always good to have a conversation, and we're hoping to get some people on here as well. We already have one in the works, so be on the lookout. It's a big person. All right. Well, big in the community. My time ran out on my track here. RIP, give me a second. But for real, we just appreciate everybody just like watching our stuff. It means a lot. Like we were mentioning before, peaks and valleys, man. When we're having a down day, we can just go to the comment section and look at all the positive stuff. So
sometimes sometimes you can look at the comment section. Sometimes that comment section will take you from top of Everest down to the slums.
That is true. That is true. Anybody writing positive comments, we appreciate you. Anybody writing negative stuff, we don't like you. All right.
Facts. Instant block. dog.
Instant block. Instant. But no, like seriously, just thank you guys so much for watching our stuff, man. It means a lot to us. So be on the lookout for the announcements that be on the lookout for the announcements that Doc has next week. We're having some stuff cook up as well, so be on the lookout for that. I'm excited to see where the game takes us. We're gonna have another pod, hopefully not 3 months later. Hopefully, it's only been a couple months, but hopefully we have another pod next. Hopefully in a few weeks, maybe we can get someone else. We have someone else on the work, so be on the lookout for that, and hopefully we can get that. Hopefully in a couple weeks. Hopefully, but with that being said. We appreciate you guys to the fullest. If you guys enjoyed this stuff, make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you guys hit the sub button. Definitely hit the like button for the boy Doc. All right, make sure you guys do that. But yeah, thank you, JV. Thank you, all the tracks creator. Thank you, Stone. Thank you, the OEM team. Insane. I'm sorry that it happened. I think me and Doc can both say if you ever need anything. I know it's probably not much, but if you ever need anything, we're always here to help. So,
Yeah.
But hackers, you guys are idiots. Everybody else, we love you. We're out. Peace.
All right. See ya.